out if anybody wants an IMC TV show. I know Anbu gave a post about that in the Telegram group. So you just hit up Anbu and go through the criteria. It's just a few basic requirements. And you can get a show on IMC TV, the new YouTube channel that we do that. And I think it's streaming now. Let's see. Yes. Yes. All right. Welcome. YouTube, you'll get to watch my segment. I don't have the Zoom link. Here, let me post the Zoom link actually. So people on the YouTube, you could join our meeting here. Nope, no, that's the Telegram. All right, XTZ, I'm going to mute you. What's up, everybody? This is Open Gathering. I like how Fernando's talk was really inspiring for me. And man, I had a whole idea about what I was about to say. I guess it came down to one question for you. So I'm looking at a broad range of people. Most of the people here have done camps recently. The most recent camps, several of you have been here in person or would do anything to be here in person. And then there's even a few of you who are less involved for whatever your reasons than you could be. Why are you here? I remember a few weeks ago, I gave the question, what is game? Everybody gave their answers. Everybody liked that question. But why are you here? It's, what day is today? Wednesday night or Thursday morning, wherever you are. I'm sure you got cool shit you could be doing. I mean, if you look at the next guy on the screen, they probably have cool shit they could be doing. We're men on earth. We all have cool music we have found, cool movies we could watch, some cool places we could go, some cool escapes we know about. I'm sure you probably got your list of things, activities that you have graduated from in your evolution. You're done with a lot of that shit. But still pretty pleasurable if you ever wanted to, you know, indulge. Like it didn't make it less pleasurable. You saw probably the word would be, you probably saw the ethics of it. And it's just not, what are you doing with yourself? I need to close out a Telegram. I'm getting like a bunch of things. I think this is the graphics for the, man, a bunch of messages came through. I can't close out. It's a trap. Okay. Yeah, so why are you here? That might get lost in your journeys at some point if you've been on it for a while. Your why might change, but there's also there's a why that you're coming from. Like when I was growing marijuana in Florida, and I had a lot of indoor plants, probably, you know, all the way from the early stage, germinated, sprouted, vegetative state, flowering state. You know, probably somewhere around 60 plants. And how a plant starts out seems to affect how it looks the rest of its life. It never like straightens out. It just keeps growing from there. And it could get strong. It could get real big and strong. And, you know, I'm not one to think that we are held back by our past, but that from any current situation in the infinite universe of possibilities, I could get to any outcome I want from any starting place. Because it's an infinite universe. And I just need to apply my intelligence to pick the right choices. And anything is possible. That's possible. And maybe in the universe of possibilities, it might not be possible that I sprout some wings right now and fly. And if it is, that's just not my focus right now. I'm not going to dedicate all my attention to doing that. I'm looking in the realm of human possibility. If I wanted to be a comedian, if I wanted to be an actor, if I wanted to have 1 million girlfriends, 10 girlfriends, 5 girlfriends, if I wanted to be a supermodel, if I wanted to own a sports team, if I wanted to, whatever a human could do, I could do it in the universe of possibilities. And if I really believe this, then there's no excuse for you not to be in a base if you want to be. There's no excuse for you to not be ranked in IMC Nation, moving up. I see a few people get that. This is what I tapped into to achieve my big outcome that was coming to the original Tabiat event in April or so of 2019. Right after I got the neck tattoo and shaved my beard. I was talking with Adam about that. And I manifested $23,000 through my girlfriend. It wasn't my first choice to find that. And that's not easy. It's not like she was rich. She was a student with a 12-year-old son, single mom, Dominican immigrant family. That's who I got 23K from. And then recently, in recent times in the last year, I asked her, ex-girlfriend, how do you feel about and think about that? Because I was talking to another girlfriend into loaning me money because I didn't have any money. And she sent me all these texts about how much she liked that she had done that and that it made her nervous. And there were some times that it felt like I bullied her into doing it almost, but she's really happy that she's done it for whatever reason. She gave me reasons. And that was a little surprising, but that's cool. I was looking at the infinite possibilities when I did that. It took me 3 weeks. I cried a few times because I didn't think I could come up with the money. And I tried everything. And I had reached a little bit past the tipping point where at that point I had invested so much in IMC and my teachings, my betterment. At that point, and I was still, I had a PhD out for 3 years, making it as a yoga instructor for about 2 years, a little over 2 years, full-time travel yoga instructor. And, you know, I'd given everything I had. You know, maybe there was a little bit more to give, but it's pretty maxed out. And I say that because there's always a little bit more you can give. I know that. You know that. You're on this stream right now. What are you watching it on? Look around you. What do you have? There's always more to give. And that was easy. That's just right in front of you. There's a lot that's not right in front of you that you have to give. So I had given a lot already. And it was like, man, this next level training is going to happen and I'm not going to be a part of it. No, I got to be a part of it. So I tapped into the universe of possibilities. It was the first time I said once on a stream, said to AZD, I was like, I saw God. He was like, somehow he brushed it off. It was like, you can't see God. God's not something to be seen. What I saw was a visual internally backwards in my head of infinity, which was not the symbol. It was more like one of those optical illusion fractals or something that just kept going into it. As you kept going into it, kept going. And I felt like I was in an ocean of zeros and ones, but it didn't look like zeros and ones. It was just a universe of like, it's not nothingness, but it's not something. It's like the in between. Between nothing and something is possibilities. And I had intention. What do I want? Possibilities. What do I want? Possibilities. And I did that while I was stretching, doing my yoga practice outside. And I would do that a few days, and then I found solutions, and I'd do it. And I was still running my business, of course. I had travel yoga. And so why are you here on this Wednesday night or Thursday morning? It's something, as I watch one of you, I'm thinking it's something to do with the vibes. And probably for many of you, it's this, but for one of you, I'm like, why is he watching? I think it's the vibes. What's going on in your head when you're not watching this? And those vibes don't feel as good. They're lower vibe. Watching these streams, the vibes are higher. To listen to these words, the thoughts go in your head and you hear them as your own. And they feel better than the thoughts you have without these streams. We're linguists. We're mathematical linguists. We view words on a scale, not unlike a chromatic scale, but a numerical or some kind of value-oriented scale where words have different weights and they add together and multiply together and subtract and do all kinds of things together. A sentence is like a math equation or an algebra equation. And the solutions could be, resonant or dissonant. They could be pleasurable or uncomfortable. This is tech I've learned from AZD. The tech, it goes so deep, it can be discouraging to some. And I think some of you, if I said quickly, if I just kind of jumped the gun, I would say you're not intelligent enough. But I don't think that's it. Some of you, I don't think that's it. I think what it is you're holding on to some other idea because that has been your salvation and your solution out of the muck you've come from up until now. And you're holding an idea or two that's preventing you from seeing greater ideas, which would have you being more committed. Or maybe, and I may be mistaken, there's also a majority of you, I think, that are committed. And like a person going to the gym, you're increasing your ability to commit. I think Sultan's walking in, probably with Geo, base guardian resident. Are there any questions about anything I've said or anything I've not said? I keep thinking of that Country for Old Men scene. And he's like, is anything wrong? And he's like, with what? With anything. Is that what you're asking me? Is anything wrong with anything?
You're like eating that fucking candy.
Yeah. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what I hear in my head when the Bikram teachers are talking. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. But
is there anything wrong with anything?
Is there anything wrong with anything? Was really enjoying your journey story. Powerhouse says, thank you. I forget where I was with it. I think I just kind of took a snippet out of time. Man, that would be a fun lecture. Just to run through, even if I just do it. I mean, it's always way better with an audience. So, just recording it for myself as a video or whatever, because I want to write the book. Like remember Fernando was talking about like me moving on to other things that I want to do. And it's amazing. It's an integrated life. So what I want to do what I want to do are activities, movements, schedule, things that will improve the product that I am distributing to the world. I've aligned my lifestyle with the product. So I pour more energy into my lifestyle, I get more out of the product. I pour more energy into the product, my lifestyle improves. And I think you all are somewhere on this, even if it's 0.1% or 1% or 10%. You're somewhere where this stuff, you're connecting it to the survival of your life. And keep going in that direction. And like I told Octavio, don't hold back, quit holding back. Man, Jesse, I was having so many flashbacks today of wrestling, college wrestling, because I came back from jiu-jitsu and it was exciting. It was interesting. And I came back into my transcendental meditation. So I like quickly tapped in deep to all the excitement that was in my nervous system. And all this imagery was coming to me. Nelson's probably getting this. And all this imagery was coming to me as the tension was releasing my body and the aggression was calming down. And it was almost useless to remember old wrestling moments. Almost completely useless. No purpose. What the fuck is that going to do for me? To remember the good old days, to this or that match or this or that challenge overcome. Well, I guess it affects my vibe, and my vibe manifests in present time through my communication. That's the secret. The secret is communication. That's what all the fucking secret tellers don't even know because they suck at it. They're into the theory of the secret and not into the application of communication. When I saw that from any position, I could get to any other position in the universe, in the world of man, through the ocean of infinite possibilities, the sail and the boat and the rudder and the motor that gets me there is communication. I sail the ocean of infinite possibilities with my communication. And you and I both have the same words, but we're different captains of our vessels. If I have more awareness of the stars, I maybe can navigate better. Awareness plays a role in this game of sailing the possibilities. So when I saw that all of my dreams could come true through imagination and communication, and when I saw the crutch that all male coaches of any discipline have, and then I looked at all of the coaches of relationships and social dynamics and seduction and that I could come across, and I could easily rank them, stack them, like I was talking about words fit on a numerological scale or some kind of weighting scale where they mean heavier and heavier or lighter and lighter things. I could stack coaches and rank them. I could apply my engineering mind to simulate forward, applying their strategy. What kind of life would that create? Applying their game, what kind of life does this create? Looking at AZD, studying alongside with Vince Kelvin for about 2 or 3 years, observing, being around, coming to events, flying across the country, spending everything I had, and comparing alongside, going to India, going deep within, still a PhD of engineering, like it just naturally simulate shit. And simulate means like, you know, start with some initial conditions and then run time forward and see how the system changes. So like simulate for yourself living in a base versus simulate for yourself not living in a base. Move time forward 10 years. 5 years. 12 months. 1 month. 1 week. 1 day. Just dinner. Go out with the guys. So where was I? I think that's about it. I think I wrung that cloth out. It was, I feel like I left a cliffhanger in there, but Are there any questions about what I've said or not what I've not said? Is there anything wrong with anything?
Is there anything wrong with anything? Is there anything wrong with that? I always picture his like voice. Or his voice, the fucking blank face that he has. Like he's got the candy in his mouth. Is there anything wrong with anything?
Is that what you're asking?
He calls him sir. Sir.
Sir. You're a bit hard of hearing. You're a bit deaf. All right, that's it. I guess, everybody's here. Dragon's Lair is the place to be. I am just a student of AZD, and this is just a dim, blurry reflection. And that's $97. You get 28 lectures a month plus an archive of 100 lectures. Like, I don't know how you could even be on this stream and not affording that. That's just like mind blow. Like shit. I don't even get it. Doesn't make sense to me. And then, we have a camp coming up. I'm talking with Fernando about how to price it. If you're able to come in person and you don't come in person, and you are able to come in person, if there was a gun to your head, you can make it happen. If there was a gun to your mom or dad's head, you can make it happen. You're not making it happen. And for the guys that are abroad, I mean, there is some degree of future casting where it's like, okay, I could break the law and vaccine law or whatever, and there's certain risk to my survival, my future. I get that. Like, I'm talking about, you're in the United States. You're in California. And then to the guys abroad, I mean, there's got to be a way. In a world of possibilities, there's got to be a way. I am not convinced that there's not a way. I haven't applied my intelligence to your situation. There's a lot going on the surface of the earth. I'm not thinking about everyone's condition. I'm just, mine. And it's expanding as I expand to include everybody I talk with and your situations into my consciousness. My girl said something to me the other day that was just so fucked up. It was so fucked up about her past that I got so angry. Man, I lose words. I lose a descriptive language. I have to just keep saying so. I was so angry. I was so upset. It was so fucked up. Like, where did my intelligent vocabulary go? Just thinking about it, it goes out the door. Then my other girl says something super fucked up. Oh, man, about her past coming back and tapping her on the shoulder. And it was a really bad one. Really bad one. Should be in prison, bad one. Probably dead, bad one. And I was so angry on the phone because I couldn't do anything about it. And first girl knew about it, found out about it, talked to me about it, was confused about it. And I talked to her a little bit, and she really liked what I had to say. And she said something. She was like, you gotta, I forget exactly how she said it, but basically she said, you gotta deal with a lot of fucked up shit. She didn't say that because she doesn't curse, but me. And she said, maybe it's just, you gotta deal with a lot. It might've just been that. What I got was, you deal with a lot of fucked up shit. And that's what I heard, but I know that's not what she said. So I totally forget what she said exactly, but it was basically, you deal with a lot. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like girls, like, they tell you a lot about their past that they never tell, or she didn't say past. She said, they tell you a lot about what's happened to them or what they've been through, I think is what she said. And you got to hear that. I was like, yeah, that's the power. I didn't say this to her, but I'm like, I forget what I said to her. I'm really bad at remembering past dialogue. I'm realizing, but I remember the feeling and the gist. And I remember feeling like, yeah, well, that's what power and responsibility is. If you want to have a girl, she's going to tell you fucked up shit that's happened to her because she wants to release it. Because that is part of the ideas she has that's between her and seeing the truth. That's between her and seeing your value. She has incidents from her past between her and perceiving you. And they're stuck there. And as you interact with her, especially on this alpha code or with certain sound bites and language or questioning that moves her mind in ways because you have understanding of the mind by studying this stuff, it's going to go through these cloudy, blurry, touchy, bruised areas, and she's going to want to reveal things to you. And she's not going to know, even feelings will bubble up, but she won't know that she's supposed to reveal stuff. She'll be holding the incident, not knowing she should let it go. Until she can talk about it, she's holding it. But then who's she going to talk about it with? And you're not her therapist, but God, there's some so you're met with this scale of, I don't want to hear fucked up shit and she's crazy, but I want her in my life at whatever capacity, which is, an hour a week or whatever, doing everything I want, whatever I want, Even if you just want her at that basic level, she's going to tell you, you're going to break through barriers and layers with her. And she's going to reveal things to you that are going to be fucked up to perceive. You're going to have to hear them and process them. And that's going to be something like re-experiencing them. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And when I told my girl, I remember this part, I was like, yeah, well, I just remember that it was fucked up for me hearing it, but she experienced it. Like, it was you fucked me up the other day when you said that thing, I'm telling her, but I had to remember you went through it. I was just hearing about it. And she was like, yeah, I mean, it melted her. She liked it. So as I include all of your experiences, I get to consider your experiences also, which is partly why I'm so intolerant of people that don't commit, because that I have to become aware of that part also, that non-committed consciousness. And I don't want that in my consciousness. So I quickly give you ultimatums to move closer or move away. And y'all are welcome to do it your own way when it comes to selling Dragon's Lair or selling the camps and getting people involved, getting your friends involved. But that's how I am. Or how I be. Applying the teachings of AZD from earlier. This is how I be versus how I am. It's not I am. It's not a declaration. It's just how I communicate. My mindset about it. Okay, that's enough rambling. Everybody here, pay attention. You got 30 people on. This is base 1 Guardian. So I'm IMC Nation captain. You got ranks. So there's bases. There's 5 of them now, 30 or so guys living in bases. If you count New Zealand, I mean, that's unofficial. You need to have 3 or more. So I keep trying to talk this one guy in New Zealand into getting on Dragons. He won't even get on. It's fucking pathetic. And you got to talk Daniel Willis into moving 6 hours from his home. But that's, I don't get why some people, he committed so much money, but then I just don't get it. We'll do what we do and we'll expand as we're supposed to, and you'll evolve as you want to. And so we have about 30 guys in bases right now. And, there are guys that have rank, many that don't, they're just residents of those bases. And then some that are guardians of bases and base leaders of bases. There's lieutenants, which are a more overarching scenario, bigger umbrella in IMC Nation, the base, a lieutenant. And a tribal leader would be another level of responsibility beyond lieutenant that really has an understudy, an apprentice, a group, or some kind of following that they're bringing to IMC. The closest guy to that's probably Brian Casella, but he's not affiliated very much recently with IMC. He does a little bit, and he's done some big things in the last 6 months, let's say, or 8 months. But so he's close. He was close. I don't think it's his interest really. So it would almost be like an honorary tribal leader. We have 4 lieutenants, and then we have captain. IMC Nation captain. So that's the biggest overarching role. And then I live with the founder, who's almost doesn't exist. He's a cloud, a smoke. He's like smoke from Mortal Kombat. Poof, he's just there, and then poof, he's gone. My goal is 300 bases. So that's not that far off, really. 20 years, 15 years, easy. Probably less. And so what we have now is one of the few guardians of bases and one of about a dozen or a dozen and a half officers in IMC Nation. So one of the top guys, executive director of royalty management, where we have a bunch of royalty models. And I had a vision the other day. Octavio and him would be some of the first, maybe the first two male royalty models.
See that?
For maybe a new fashion line.
I thought about that.
Maybe illuminated or what have you. And or whatever. And here he is. He lives with me. So it's like if you're running a big cross-country race and everybody's in the race together from different teams, and the bases are teams, and then everybody who's not in the base, they're just individual lone runners. They're not part of a team. They can't even score as a team because they're not part of a team. They're in the race, so they're on the IMC team, but they're not part of one of the teams that wears different same jerseys or whatever. I'm on the team with Sultan, and somewhere in the top 14 or 15 placement of this race of 300 guys, he's in the top 15. I'm in the top 1 or 2. So we got the champion here leading the way. And there's guys that are on my heels. I mean, not that far back. I mean, if I just tripped and fall a few times, they might catch me. But there's Sultan. He's in the top.
I live with the top.
Yeah. And so it's a real strong base.
That means something.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a competitive guy. I think about it like that. So here he is, Sultan.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I just want to show the video that me and Chris were talking about because some people probably don't get this joke. But here's the clip that we were making fun of where we're like, is there anything wrong with anything? Okay, here it is. Check it out.
Is something wrong? With anything? Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything? What would be anything else? You already asked me that. Yes, generally around dark, at dark. At what time do you go to bed? Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30. I could come back. Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed. You said that. Well, I got household back.
It's funny. That movie's like a comedy to me more than a fucking like suspense or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be. I guess the first time I saw it was pretty fucking scary actually. Yeah. I always imagine, what if that guy fucking pulled me over, put that fucking thing to my head and just.
Bro, that's a good movie.
Okay. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna play a song and then we'll get started. I know it's already 8, so we'll get through fast and efficiently. Man, on my speaker, it's all good. Good.
As a wise man that think if I possess the game of my man, the reason I wear shades, you can't see the pain in my eyes. In the rainstorm and the blizzard, expressing all of my feelings, pause. Never took me serious, nah. Mama never won't listen. Stomach hurt in my pockets, empty, how dare nigga won't tip me. In a dark room, all prayed out, ain't never said no business. Hustle hard in the alleyway, if I misfeed the house, I'm getting it. Wreck my car, Chris laughed at me like I ain't supposed to remember. Wish we was still living. Wish Trump was still living. Wish Joe was still living. Look at Chris, how he tripping. Young troll just hit the phone, but he don't keep it a thousand. Ray bitch just jacked him, and he ain't need to see about that. I ain't telling me about that. Seen to me, he ain't about that. Nigga, let me get a 3 juice. You don't have it now, but you gon' have it later. My face ball worth 100 bands. Game recognized, game baby. My little brother is kerosene. I die for it. Bitch niggas ain't around me. Talking mess Massachusetts exclusive. Somebody bring it back. Cocaine made me smile, but I cried. Ain't think my team a red. Stroke, know I love it. But nigga around to say fuck me. How that go when I fuck with nigga? Ain't nobody gon' fuck with him. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, they call it the South Side. Everybody house overcrowded. Forcing them to hang outside.
All right. Shit. I've been listening to Kevin Gates since your private moment. Hell yeah. That's cool. I really enjoy Kevin Gates. I enjoy his music. All right. Man. I did a private moment yesterday. It was my third one. I don't know if anyone here was on. I wasn't looking at the screen. I feel different. I feel really different, obviously. That's what happens when you do a private moment if you haven't done one yet. And man, it's very interesting because I always try to put words on it, but it's very difficult to put words on it. Like I can tell you that I'm more comfortable. I can tell you that I'm more expressive. I can tell you that I'm relaxed. I'm more relaxed when I'm out. I mean, I can tell you all these things, and you've probably heard a lot of people say them. So I'm looking for something to say that's not that. It's, you know, what I will say is it's very addicting. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you how it's addicting. Because I did a private moment last month, and I made a mistake in my hair's all fucked up. Jesus. I made a mistake. Still fucked up. Oh, whatever. I made a mistake in my accounting, and I accidentally sent Yogi Chris. Well, I didn't. I sent it to him because I knew I was going to send the money, but I made a mistake by not looking at my bank account. So when I sent him the money, my account was overdrafted like I think it was like $1,500. And you know, I could have asked him for the money back, but dude, that's fucking weird. I send money that I asked for it back. No, that's fucking weak shit. So, you know, doing the private moment, it sent me back fucking negative. I was negative bank account. And then there's people that, you know, complained about signing up for Dragons there for $97. You know, we're a different breed. I'm not like those people, obviously. And then yesterday I did my third private moment, and then, man, I made almost the same mistake. You know what's funny is I made the same fucking mistake again. Yeah, the same fucking mistake, bro. So I've learned my lesson now. And it's addicting because I want to do another one now. Like I already want to do another one. So I'm already thinking about doing another one next month. Like I'm not thinking about it like if I'm going to do it, thinking about like, okay, now I'm going to strategize. So I'll do another one next month.
Olive oil? You tell me I had like two giant things. Do you have any olive oils?
So,
I never use them.
I have some you can use it.
Where is it at? Yours in the cabinet?
Yeah, it's in the bottom. Yeah. So, yeah, so I made the same mistake. It was negative again. I think it was like, yeah, it was negative. And then, somehow, man, it's crazy. The universe always provides, like, when you least expect it. Like I somehow got some money that I was owed from the past yesterday, which was when my account was zero. So, yeah, so I did the private moment yesterday, and I was really shocked at how relaxed I was during the private moment. I don't think I've ever been that relaxed, like in front of people. I guess it's different because, you know, there's only been 3 times total now that I've been in front of an audience watching me versus I'm out at the park and there's people there. They're not like, you know, maybe they look at me or whatever. Like maybe their attention is on me for a second because what I look like in my hair or my fucking clothes or something. But they're not sitting there like watching me at the park, like walk down the fucking sidewalk and get into the car. They're not watching me like that. But, you know, during the private moment, there's, I think there's 5 people here, 5 guys, 6 guys watching. And it's just unreal how comfortable I was, man. It just tripped me out. Like while while I was like in the private moment, I thought about it. I was like, fuck, I can't believe I'm so comfortable right now, man. This is crazy. And there was these moments, like there's these moments like where I put on hand wraps. And right when I put the hand wraps on, I felt like this rise, or I felt like my energy rise in a good way, but I also felt my nervousness go up. Like I started to feel like almost like this anxiety in my chest area. Usually for me, when I get it, it's like here, I feel it right here. Usually sometimes even around my solar plexus. And it was pretty trippy because all I did was just take a deep breath and it just fucking went away. It's like 3 seconds. It came up, I took a deep breath and it was gone. And then I started shadow boxing. And during the whole shadow boxing thing, like from start to end, I was like so comfortable, dude. It felt like I felt like there's nobody there. I was like, what I imagined was there's someone in front of me that I was facing, which is something that I do when I shadow box. They say like, you're supposed to imagine somebody, but I imagine a specific person I want to hurt really bad. I imagine them in front of me while I'm shadow boxing. Why? Because why not? Try it and see how good your shadow boxing is. Not in a sense that you're like just going like this and like doing like stupid shit, but in the sense that you want to hurt that person really bad in a strategic way. You don't want to like get all emotional about it and just go crazy. I mean, there's a time to do that too, right? I mean, you're shadow boxing. You can fuck around, have fun with it. There's no like set rule. I'm not a professional boxer, but I've been doing it consistently for 3 months. Not 3 years yet. It'll be 3 years when 3 years hits, but it's only been 3 months. I just realized I said only 3 months. You get that? I said only 3 months. It's been 3 months. I don't think anyone else, I doubt anybody else is doing something and staying consistent for 3 months. I doubt it. And if they are, they're like the people that I see where they're just going there to do it. Like, yeah, it's another day. I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to go boxing. This is me hitting the fucking pads of the boxing gym. Like, man, if you're doing that shit, go the fuck home, dude. Go the fuck home. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. You're wasting your fucking time. It's stupid. Why are you doing it? Like, why are you doing an activity you don't enjoy? Like, yes, today I did not want to go to boxing. I told Gio, like, because Gio is here for Guardian training. He was sponsored by Powerhouse. Okay, Powerhouse is on. And he gets to live here and he gets to participate in whatever activity that he wants to with us, whether it be Bikram, boxing, or going to the gym, or whatever. If there's anything else that comes up in the future, that's Guardians have the accessibility to go with us to any of these activities. So Gio was like, "Hey, I want to go to boxing with you." I was like, "Yeah, let's go today." So we go to boxing, and or like right before we go, I'm like, "Man, fuck this! I don't want to go today." I was like, I'm like dead, man. I feel so tired. And he's like, I don't remember his response. It was like, "Whoa, no way!" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, but I'm still going." I said, "I'm still going to go. I don't want to go, but I'm still going to go, and I'm still going to exert all my effort and energy into the fucking class for that whole hour. I'm going to exert." And what Gio said, which was interesting, he was like, "I didn't know boxing was only an hour." He said, "I thought it was a longer class." He said, "So now I'm going to exert more energy because it's a shorter period of time. Versus yoga, it's 90 minutes, boxing 60 minutes. So 30-minute difference. 30 minutes is 30 minutes. That's a long time. If you're training, 30 minutes is a long time, for me at least. I take 30 minutes as a long time. So that 30 minutes is shorter in boxing versus Bikram. And it's completely different. I mean, Bikram and boxing, you can't compare. Still, you're training. You're still exerting energy. You're pushing yourself in a way. I mean, in boxing, I'm pushing myself all the time. And the whole time, I'm pushing myself. And if you're going to do the activity, then you go there with the idea. This is like my mindset. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You're here listening to me, so I would figure you want to hear what I'm going to say about it. When I go there, I just want to become a weapon. Was the words. I want to become a weapon. I am a weapon. I'm getting stronger. I want to get stronger. I don't want to be the same I don't want to have the same physique all the time. I don't want to be like the same strength. I want to raise. I want to keep getting better at this shit. yeah, my shadow boxing was probably good, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's good. I mean, I critique it all the time because I'm only like, it's new. I'm new to this. I'm new to it. So imagine in a year what it would be. 3 months, I see huge improvement. I see it in myself too. I see it. People tell me, yeah, you improve. I see it too. Like when I record myself, I watch, yeah, there's huge improvement. And there's a feeling. There's a feeling that AZ talked about yesterday. I don't remember if he called it a feeling, like it was paraphrasing, but after the private moment, he was saying the woman can feel your survival value when you're walking around. When you train like boxing or you do some jiu-jitsu, you do some Muay Thai, it's felt, it's picked up. You can pick it up on people. Like I can look at two guys pretty well, walk down the street, you can tell which one doesn't do any sort of like fighting. You can tell pretty clearly. You can look at their face, you look at their body language. One of them doesn't fight, one of them fights. If I pick that up, the girl can pick that up. Probably at a very genetic, like very deep genetic level, she's picking that up. Not like, oh, that guy fights, that guy doesn't fight. Like she's not going around doing that, right? Because I'm not worried about that when I'm walking around. Like, yeah, I am, but I'm not like thinking about that. She is looking for, she wants to have a baby. So if she's gonna have a baby with a man and she's attracted to a man, she doesn't want some guy that fucking can't protect her. Physically, being physically fit, being able to handle yourself physically, like in a fight, in an altercation, that is picked up in the environment when you're around women, around women, they can pick it up. And when you stay consistent with whatever activity it is, boxing, fucking jiu-jitsu, it starts to grow. It starts to grow in you. This vibe starts to grow. I feel it after 3 months. I feel it when I'm out. It's like, what is it, man? It's a confidence for sure. I'll tell you that. It's a confidence for sure. Some of the words. It's a confidence when you're out. Like you walk taller, right? You don't walk like you're nothing. You walk taller. You walk taller because you have confidence. Now, I haven't fought anybody and I don't want to fight anybody. I've sparred, but I don't want to street fight anybody. It's stupid. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. Like, if you're thinking that, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying street fighting. We're not street fighting. I don't want to fight anybody in the streets. If I have to, then I have to. Then I will. But I want to avoid it. However, when I'm in the gym, when I'm in the boxing gym, my confidence keeps growing. It keeps growing. Every fucking class it grows. It grows more and more. And it translates. It translates when I'm talking to the cashier at the grocery store. It translates when I open the girl at the fucking bar. It translates when I'm messaging somebody, text messaging somebody. It translates in my beingness when I'm out. My character. It translates. So I don't know. What is the comment here? I felt the energy of Cobra during your boxing. That's dope. Yeah, that's cool. Hell yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So it's private moments. Man, I mean, we can talk some game real quick. It was interesting. G and I, like I said, went to boxing, and in that boxing class, there's most of there's 5 classes a week. There's usually like there's a girl there maybe like once or twice a week that I see, but she's like 17, I think. She's very young. When I first saw her, I was like, man, she's fine. Like she could pass as 21, but when I saw her getting picked up and dropped off by her mom and her little brother with her, I was like, man, this girl I think she's 17 or maybe 18, but I think 17. So that's like the only girl in there, and I don't talk to her. I think I said hi to her a few times, but I don't talk. Like I'm not gaming girls in there. Because there's only one. That's the only girl, and she looks underage. So I keep my distance. However, today there's actually a really fine girl there today. Like out of all the girls that have shown up there, she was definitely the most attractive. This is not a surprise to me, but maybe it'll be a surprise to somebody else. It's funny because this girl shows up and she shows up late and she's hitting the pads. Like basically what we're doing is we're practicing. Like one person holds the pads, the other person hits the pads. So she shows up, she's wrapping her gloves, wrapping her hands up with the hand wrap. And then she gets with this guy, like a partner, and he's holding the mitts for her. And then at some point, like I forgot about it. I'm doing, I'm practicing. And then I turn around and then this other guy, that one of the coaches like tries to get in on it. Like he just can't fucking like, he can't hold still. He just like, he just wants to talk to her, wants to be around her. So he goes up and he tells the guy that's like holding the pads for her, like, nah, bro, like I got this. Like, it's just fucking weird, dude. So he leaves and walks away. And I can tell when he's walking away, he's like, man, fuck this guy. Like, I want to fucking talk to this girl. Or like practice with her or whatever. So he walks away, and then one of the coaches, which is like younger kid, maybe 19, 20, he starts practicing with her. And then this other guy comes up, and he's like a black belt or something. He's like secondary black belt. I don't know. Like he's some Asian dude. He said he trains at Gracie Academy. Supposedly. Black belt jiu-jitsu? I think so, yeah. He says he trains at one of these Gracie Academies in San Jose, not the same place that AZD goes, somewhere else. But this guy comes up and he starts talking to the girl. I'm like, man, this is like, these guys are just so pussy hungry. They like, everyone's trying to talk to this girl. Like 2 or 3 of the coaches, this fucking like MMA guy, I can tell what he's doing. He's trying to like show her, like he's trying to show off basically, because the same thing he did to me. I asked him nothing. When I talked to this guy, I asked him nothing about anything. He just started telling me about, he's a black belt and he trained with these guys and he beat him up and they wanted to train with him and that they admired him. And I was like, why are you fucking even telling me, dude? I don't give a fuck. But I listened. I was like, oh, cool. Nice.
Find out his name, bro.
Okay.
I find out where he trains at, but like without being too interested. Just casually.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Next time I see
a guy once at this wrestling camp I was coaching at.
Yeah.
And he claimed he wrestled at Penn State. And like
he didn't know.
Yeah. I'm saying find out.
Yeah, I don't. It makes sense.
A little goofy, but you never know.
Yeah, he could just be one of those guys that
we don't know.
Does, but he's just.
Let's just find out who he is.
Yeah. So this guy comes up. He starts talking to her. He starts like, from the vibe I was getting, he was telling her basically like he's a black belt and oh you should hit like this and not like that. Like he's trying to coach her. He's not even a fucking coach. That guy shows up like fucking like once a month. Like, I don't know. I mean, he was good when I went against him, but my skill was like nothing compared to his. I mean, he's been doing it for much longer. I don't know how long he's been boxing, but when he was moving around, when he was boxing, I could tell like he's trained. I mean, he's trained. He knows something at least. Shit. But the fact that the point is him doing that, it's just like so. It's so. How would I say this? Yeah, there's things we can say. He's chasing. He's being needy, whatever. But there's a book. There's this book that I was reading. It talks about persuasion and influence and all that. And it was giving this datum, and the datum was, man, I almost want to like get it right now, but there's not enough time. The datum was incongruency. Having incongruency. One second. The datum was having incongruency or showing incongruency. So it was giving an example like this guy goes to a car dealership with his wife, and he tells his wife, like before going to the car dealership, we're not going to buy a car. Right. And just to make sure they're not going to buy a car, they're going to leave all their credit cards and all their money at home. So they go to the dealership. And then the first person that comes up to them is this salesman. And he's like, he introduces himself. He's like, hey, I want to show you around, I'll show you the cars. They're like, no, don't worry about it. Like, we're just here to look. We're not buying any car today. And he's like, okay, that's fine. But let me show you around. I'm going to show you this new car here. We have a 2022. We have this 2023 over here. And they're like, no, seriously, we don't want a car. So he keeps following them around, keeps bugging them. And they eventually get rid of this guy. So they're kind of looking at cars. They're just checking shit out. Second guy comes up. Second guy comes up and asks them if they have or need any help. They say, no, we're good. And then he starts asking them questions like, okay, well, how long, like, have you guys been car searching? Like, is your, like, what car do you guys have now? He starts asking them a bunch of questions. And they said, don't worry, we're good. We don't need a car. Like, we're not buying a car today. So the guy leaves. Third guy comes up. He introduces himself. They tell him, hey, before he even starts, they tell him we don't need a car. We left all our money at home. We're not buying anything today. We're just looking. He says, he kind of like, he sighs, like he has this relief. And he's like, thank God. And they're kind of like shocked. Like, what is this? Like, what does he mean? Thank God. He's like, yeah, thank God. He's like, I just started working here and I'm really nervous. I haven't made a sale or anything. He's like, I'm really nervous. And I just, well, I'm glad you guys aren't getting a car or something like that. Like he's not like forcing anything. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, he doesn't know shit. Really, he's new, first day on the job. And they start talking to the guy. And they have a conversation with him, it goes well. And then they end up going home and they buy a car with that guy. I don't know if the story is real. Maybe it's real, maybe it's fake, but this is a story that the author was giving as an example. And it was incongruent because the fucking salesman, when you go to a car dealership, you expect the first and second guy every time. But the third guy, you don't expect. You don't expect them to come up to you and tell you, damn, I'm so relieved you're not buying a car. I'm new. I just started. I'm nervous. You don't expect that at a car dealership. You expect the guy that's fucking on your balls the whole time trying to fucking get you to buy this car. So this dude is this trained fighter, but he's going up to the girl and he's like, oh yeah, let me show you. Okay, you want to hold the glove like this. You want to, okay, yeah, that's a good stance. You got a really good stance. Yeah, you look good. Okay, what I'll do is move your hand here. You want to move your, yeah. That's what he was doing to this girl.
Was it his class?
No. This is
a student.
Yeah, this is a student that shows up once a month.
So
he wasn't even in the class.
Okay.
He wasn't even a part of the class. He wasn't even a student of the class.
So he's basically just reacting to her.
Basically, he's just reacting to her good looks. Mm-hmm. She's wearing some shorts, she's wearing a little tank top. She looks pretty or whatever. And he goes up and he starts doing this thing with her. And I think same with the boxing coach, because she was going with a student. He was holding the pads. The student was holding the pads for her. And then the boxing coach comes and tells the guy or something to leave, and then he starts holding the pads.
But he has no plausible deniability.
It's true.
If he does that right, it's okay.
That's true.
His class, maybe the person was holding retarded.
But it wasn't his class. The other coach, the father was coaching. Sorry, the son was coaching, and it was the younger son that did it. The younger son has never coached the class.
Whoever's class it is, he has that plausible deniability.
Right. It wasn't him. It was a different person. But I could still see he would still have some sort of plausible deniability because he's a staff, you could say. So he did that. And then, just everyone just goes towards this girl. And it's such a basic thing. I see, for me, it's basic. Maybe some people on here, it's not so basic. You didn't think of that. I don't know. But it's crazy to see how these guys, they don't get it. They do the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. They go right up to her and they start talking to her. Maybe they get some points for confidence, I guess. But it's so typical. It's so typical to do something like that. So, next time you're at some fucking gym or some boxing gym or whatever, and there's a fine ass bitch there, what do you not do? You don't fucking go right up to her and start talking to her. Unless you have some sort of plausible deniability, easy to say. You have plausible deniability. You're a staff there. You work there. You're a coach. You're a trainer there. Yeah, of course. But what do? I don't do anything. I ignore her. I'm not there for her. I'm not there to get girls. Sure, if I get into a dialogue with her, it's somehow get into a dialogue and there's an opening for a dialogue, I will get into dialogue with her.
The way you get a girl at a gym is become the best student.
Yeah.
I've done my whole life.
That's great.
Just keep training.
Yeah.
Then she's gonna want to train with you.
Yeah.
It's over time, but don't rush it.
Yeah. I mean, this girl is I'm not a man. It's kind of nasty. Girls that box, it's kind of something about it. It turns me off. I don't know. I guess it's.
Me too. My girlfriend asked me about it. I said I don't recommend boxing. It's not the most attractive thing for you.
Oh man, I forgot to ask for the coach. So
yeah,
is that still a thing?
It's still a thing.
Okay.
It's not pushing it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's funny. That was the key. Yeah. So not becoming the best student.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're there to become the best student. I'm there to become the best student. I'm not there to talk to girls. I'm not there to find out if the coach likes me or not. I'm not there to fucking socialize. I'm there to fucking I'm there to box. I'm paying fucking money every month to box. You know what I mean? When other people are going to the class, they're just sitting there socializing, standing around. And sometimes I'm like, man, the coach should fucking tell these guys, bro, get you do something. But then I'm like, no, who gives a fuck? It's none of my business. So then I just get my fucking, I walk in, I put my shit down, I drink some water, and I go straight, or I wrap my hands, I go straight to the wall, and I grab a jump rope, and I start jump roping. I start jump roping until the coach says, stop jump roping, start shadow boxing. Then I shadow box. Then he says, stop shadow boxing. He'll say, get gloves or get a partner or hit the bag or whatever, go grab weights, whatever he says, I'll go do that. He says, do this, I do that. Like I'm listening to what he says. I'm not sitting here worrying about that person, worrying about that person. Sometimes it'll come up in my mind and I've trained myself to just drop it because I see other, like the person I'm going with, if they're sparring, they're just being fucking like lazy, like they're not doing anything. And I just they're mediocre. And I do get angry when the person with me is being mediocre, like the person I'm training with. Mediocre as in they've been going for a long time, they've been training for a while, and they're not doing anything, they're not hitting me, they're not really like into it. It's just like I'm almost just I might as well just shadow box. So in those moments, man, I don't do anything. I just continue going with them. And it just goes. It goes. I don't do anything. I would get angry, and like internally I would get angry, and I just drop it. Because it's no fucking use for me to get angry at that person. They're mediocre, they're fucking mediocre. I'm not mediocre, but I'll have to train with them. So I'll train with them until it's over. Then I train with somebody else. So, it's been 3 months, like I said, for boxing. And now what I'm going to do is incorporate weight training with the boxing. But it won't be that, like, I'm not going to go to boxing and weight train. I'm going to do both. It'll most likely what it's going to be, I'm still getting the schedule right. It will be weight training in the morning and then boxing in the evening. The weight training is going to be for the size. I want to put on some more size. And I want I want my muscle mass to go up. Boxing, your muscle mass doesn't really go up. It's very little because you're just this movement this whole time. Like not really lifting anything. There's not much lifting going on. At least that's what I think. Maybe someone else has a different idea. I'm not an expert in this. So weight training in the morning, boxing in the evening, and then I'll do Bikram Friday, one class a week, just to rejuvenate, man. Because I was going to boxing 3 months straight without any sort of like yoga or anything. I would stretch, but that was about it. I would just do some light stretching and no gym, right? Just straight boxing, no lifting weights. And then when I went to yoga the other day, the first class, afterwards, man, I felt so fucking good. I did get a migraine, I think, because I got up too quick. And and I didn't drink enough water right afterwards. So I did get a migraine, but like physically, I felt really good. Like my body felt really good. I was just ready to go straight home and go sleep. I could barely even keep my eyes open, which never happens to me. And then the second class that I did, which was the day before yesterday, day before yesterday, dude, I felt so fucking good. I don't think I felt that good in like years. I felt like, man, I got out of the fucking class and I just sat down. Right outside the class, I sat on this little bench and just sat there like this, kind of like my eyes were like half open. I'm just kind of I was like, I was in a meditative state right when I got out. And one of the teachers, the teacher that was teaching that class, she's like, what did she say to me? She's like, fuck, I forgot what she said, but I basically told her, I said, I still feel like I'm in the class. Because that's what it felt like. I still felt like I was doing the yoga. And she's like, wow. She's like, I've never heard somebody say that before. She's like, that makes me really happy to hear or something. And I just sat there for like maybe 15, 20 minutes and just smiling. It just felt good, man. I physically felt good. I felt like I could just go to sleep right there on the fucking bench.
Ask yourself how they're gonna benefit.
Yeah. So if you guys are doing some sort of physical training like box,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So if you guys are doing some sort of physical training like boxing or you're doing jiu-jitsu, whatever, like if you guys aren't doing that, I'm telling you, now that I've done it for 3 months, I feel like I can say it now, like you're fucking up if you're not doing it. When it was the first week, it's weird. I was like my first week doing it. No, I've been doing it for 3 months. If you guys aren't doing some sort of physical activity like that, I would suggest instead of weightlifting, I would suggest fighting, some sort of fighting. It's different. I was weightlifting. It's not the same. So some sort of fighting system or fighting style, whatever you want to call it. If you're not doing it, you need to do that. If you want to be on this process, if you want to have what AZD has, then you want to have some sort of physical routine like boxing, Muay Thai, fucking jiu-jitsu, whatever. Kickboxing, I think it's Muay Thai. Wrestling, pick one and do it consistently, not once a week, not once a month, not twice a week, consistently, 5 days a week. 7 if you could. I was doing it for 5 days, and then weekends I was hitting the gym, just shadow boxing, hitting the bag, and I was exhausting myself. It wasn't good. So I'm doing 5 days a week boxing. I'll probably hit weights 1 or 2 days during that time, and then I'm gonna do Bikram on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll probably rest, or I might rest 1 day during the week and train 1 day on the weekend. I'm figuring that out. So first, if you don't have a physical routine, pick one and do it. 2, if you're doing a physical routine like that, that's intense, you want to do something like Bikram if you have access to Bikram. If you don't have access to Bikram, then find a hot yoga studio. Why? Because you need to, what would be the word, Yogi Chris? That's rejuvenate, heal, repair, restore, whatever the word would be using for that.
For doing Bikram yoga?
Yeah, like to balance out the boxing or the intensive